Vice President of the National Assembly or NA, Dr Bounpone Bouttanavong told the ongoing Assembly session this week that the government needs to strengthen its efforts to restore the economy in the wake of the COVID crisis, particularly the service sector.
สำหรับงานป้องกันและจำกัดการแพร่ระบาดของพยาธิโควิด -19 รัฐบาลได้นำใช้มาตรการที่มีประสิทธิภาพประสิทธิผล
Vice President of the National Assembly, or NA, Dr Bounpone Bouttanavong told the ongoing Assembly session this week that the government had done a good job in containing the spread of the virus. But it was the opinion of the National Assembly, which oversees the performance of the executive body, that the government should do more to achieve the goals approved by the Assembly. Dr Bounpone said the government needs to strengthen its efforts to restore the economy in the wake of the COVID crisis, particularly the service sector. Goals in poverty reduction and rural development will need to be achieved this year. 9 out of 15 goals laid down for the education and sports sector would not be accomplished. 7 out of 11 goals in the health sector and 3 out of 4 goals in the information, culture, and tourism sector would not be realized. The National Assembly acknowledged that the economy, which was already vulnerable, had been further weakened by the pandemic and flooding this year, resulting in more financial difficulties. Revenue shortfalls could lead to further budgetary tensions, and fiscal deficit is on the rise, while the depreciation of the kyip is affecting the country's debt service capability. The National Assembly found that the domestic production was not as strong as it should be and said the government must do more to boost local production by making greater use of science and technology in production processes, as this would reduce the need for imports. Dr Bounpone said the National Assembly congratulated the government on maintaining political stability and social order and noted that the construction of several mega projects was progressing as planned. These are the Laos-China Railway, Vientiane-Vang Vieng Expressway, mining and operations in special economic zones.
ให้หัดกุมเพื่อรับประกันเฮ็ดให้อัตราแลกเปลี่ยนรวมทั้งอัตราเงินเฟ้อ
In 2021, government bodies are instructed to analyze policies and strategies and determine ways to overcome economic challenges, looking at how to turn the crisis into opportunities to drive economic growth.
แทนปี 2025 ของรัฐบาล
The government was advised to better regulate currency exchange rates and reduce gap between the parallel and official market. It is also essential to keep inflation under control to minimize the impacts of the economy and people's livelihoods. Decisions concerning state-funded projects should be based on the budget available in order to prevent the country going further into debt. The National Assembly also asked the government to create favorable conditions for SMEs in the area of agricultural production, especially enabling them to have easier access to funding. Meanwhile, the construction of roads and railways must be made in parallel with efforts to boost agricultural production and the processing industry so that more goods can be exported. Promote domestic tourism by encouraging more Lao people to travel within the country and so help strengthen local economies. The revival of tourism would help the economy to recover in the post-pandemic period. Dr Bounpone said it was necessary to develop a skilled workforce that would meet the country's needs and demands of the job market. At present, insufficient skilled workers are available. He also advised the government to clearly define new sources of income and use electronic system to boost national revenue in the near future. Supakson Silapet and the news team report from the National Assembly session. A hotline will be in operation throughout the session to accept public comments and complaints, which can be sent via the free telephone number 156, fax number 021-413-528, PO Box 662, and email nalao.156@gmail.com.